Let's go over the answer to weekly math challenge number 10, and we're going to present you two solutions. One of them is very intuitive. It's something that you can think of by thinking step by step. And the second way is by using a formula for conditional probability derived from the intuition. And my younger brother is going to show you the first way, and I'm going to show you the second way.
So I will be showing you the intuitive way of solving this problem. Before we even get started, I am going to ignore this entire second to last sentence, and we are just going to use that in our final step. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna first find the probability that both of her children are squares, so SS. Well, the probability of it being a square is 25%, so that is 1/4 times 1/4 or 1/16. Another possibility is a square and the circle. The probability that a square is 1/4. The probability that it will be a circle is 75% or 3/4. That's 3/16. The probability that she's going to get a circle and a square, right here the square was born first, right here the circle will be born first. That is 3/4 times 1/4. That is 3/16. And the final thing that's possible is circle, which is 3/4 times 3/4, which is 9/16. So we have found the probability for all four possibilities. Now let's look at this sentence. So she gave birth to at least one circle. So she gave birth to one or two circles. So she could not have given birth to two squares. So we are just going to cross this probability out. We're going to ignore it. So now the probability of her giving birth to both circles is 9/16, and the probability that she will give birth to at least one circle is all of these added together, which is 3/16 plus 3/16 plus 9/16, or 15/16. So now we are given that this happens, so our probability that both of our children are circles is 9/16 over 15/16. These over 16 are going to cancel out, and we are left to 9/15 or 3/5. So our answer is 60%.
Now, there was a very clear solution. You find the probability that it's both of them, and you're going to divide by the probability that it's at least one. And that just comes right out of your intuition, at least one. Because you want to find what proportion, what is the chance of both of them being circles, given that at least one is a circle. So it makes sense to divide the probabilities to yield the final answer. And the method I'm going to show you is precisely the same thing, but it may be slightly quicker if you remember the formula. And I'm going to use the conditional probability formula. Probability of A given B is probability of A and B divided by probability of B, and using this you can get the answer exactly the same way. In our case, we want to find the probability that both are circle, given that at least one is a circle. So you're just going to substitute this in. So you want to find the probability that both of them are circle and at least one is a circle. Well, if both of them are circle and at least one is a circle, and for and both statements has to be true, that's telling you that this simplifies to both of them being circles. And you want to divide by the second probability, or second event, I should say, or at least one circle. And using this, you get exactly the same thing. Probability of both of them being circle, where the first of them has 75% chance, or 3/4, of being a circle, the next one the same way, and probability of at least one being circle, you can either find three of them, 3/16, 3/16, and 9/16, and add them up, or you can do 1 minus none of them being circle, or 1/16, which also can be obtained by 1/4 times 1/4, and you get exactly the same thing. 9/16 over 15/16 is 3/5, also known as 60%. And hopefully you got something out of this. There are, in many cases, two ways of attacking mathematics problem. One is by intuition, and the second one is by using a formula that someone has already established. But in many cases, especially for more creative problems in competition math or in real life, you're not going to have some formula you can just plug in. So this was a unique case. This was a case that simplified nicely. But in many cases, you are going to have to follow intuition, be creative, and maybe from that, you're going to benefit and maybe even come up with some formula that other people can use to get the answer quicker. And maybe this question, the two solutions we gave you, is giving you some intuition, or not intuition, but some feedback about what mathematics is. It starts with intuition and thinking through the question, and you develop some equations and theorems that naturally follow it, and using those you can get a very simplified or extended sometimes or more concise picture of what mathematics is. Hopefully you enjoyed this question as much as we did.